If I can't take my coffee break, screensaver off. Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning in for another episode of Wiggin' Out with Bobby Z here on a Wiggy Weavy Wednesday. And today's video, I'm not really sure what to call it. It's kind of like an FAQ because I'm answering questions about stuff that I get asked a lot, but it's also kind of a tutorial because I'm showing you things and different things. So a mashup of those, I guess, would be what's called a 101, which is kind of like, you know, hairdressing 101, car maintenance 101, kind of just like the intro stuff you need to know. So I've been getting asked lately about hot rollers and heat setting wigs, so I figured that, hey, I might as well do a hot roller 101 video, and it could be the kickoff to the 101 videos. I'm starting all of these videos and all these ideas for videos, and I'm pretty sure in about a year, when I come back to these, I'm going to have like 2 of them done, because that's just how I get sometimes. I get so adventurous and I want to do so many things, and then I end up just taking like a nap on the sofa. So including duplicates, I own 8 sets of hot rollers, and I own probably about 4 sets of steam rollers. So basically the stuff that I have at my disposal pretty much runs the gamut of what is available in terms of hot rollers. I figured I'd show you guys and explain kind of what the different types of hot rollers are and what the pros and cons are of each type. Okay, so the first kind of hot roller I'm going to talk about are these, which have the little tiny teeth on them right here. Now, this is from the Miss Clairol set, which is this. I have 2 of these. I also have an entire extra set of rollers, if not more. I think there's actually more than a full extra set in here that I love having extras of. It's full of extra hot rollers of all the sizes. Like I said, I think I have more than one entire extra set in here, but that really comes in handy. Personally, I love the hot rollers with the teeth on them. I know a lot of wig people don't like these kind of rollers because when you wrap the hair up in it, you can bend and get kinks in it like that in different places throughout the hair. And I find that that does happen, but it's really not that terrible. If you don't oversteam the wig, it's usually fine. These kind of hot rollers roll wigs so tight. Much better set when I use the rollers with teeth than when I use a flocked roller or anything else. And it's just because the little teeth grab on and you can get really, really tight. And as I've said before, you need to have a lot of tension with synthetic hair to have it set. So for me, I love the rollers with the teeth because I can roll down really tight and I can get it nice and crisp. I did do research on eBay. You can still find the Miss Clairol set available. Remember, my mother gave me these when I was in high school, and I was like playing with cosmetology mannequins and stuff in high school. And my mom gave me this, and at the time, I didn't really know how to use hot rollers, and so I didn't think that they worked. That didn't do anything. I'm not a fan of this hot roller crap. I don't think that these ones you have work. Once I started doing all my home business and bobby pin stuff last year, my mother sent me both sets of hot rollers and then the extra bag of rollers as well. And oh my god, these are the best hot rollers ever. I love them. They get so, so, so hot. They're amazing. I love them. They're my favorite to use. They come in 3 different sizes. There's a whole row of large ones, then there's mediums on either side, and then there's 4 little tiny baby guys. All my big curly wigs and wigs that have the big waves in the front are always set with this size roller. I love them. These little baby guys I never really use. I use them a couple times for like ringlets or hanging little curls around the neck and stuff. They work really well for that. Next I'm going to talk about what's called a flocked roller. They look like this. It's like a felted fabric material on the rollers. And basically what flocking does is your hair kind of grips to it, but it also makes your ends nice and polished and shiny. Now, for human hair, that's great, but for synthetic hair, that doesn't really matter. The 3 largest sizes of flocked rollers that I own, that's pretty big, and then this is pretty big for a hot roller. Most hot rollers, the largest they come is this. Let me talk about the purple and black ones first. I have 3 sets of these Conair Jumbo hot rollers. Now that I have the Jumbo hot rollers, I can pretty much do any style wig set just with hot rollers. Still wet set from time to time, depending on what it has to be. But for the most part, I do exclusively use hot rollers. I have 3 sets of these. 2 sets I got on eBay, $25 to $30 online or in a store. I got 2 sets for 20 something. When I went home to Pittsburgh in September, I got another set at the thrift store for $5. So I have 3 sets. They don't really get super, super hot because they're a newer set, and newer sets never get as hot as what old vintage sets did. Vintage hot rollers, when you can find them, you need to pick them up. You can find hot rollers at the thrift store or secondhand places all the time. They're usually $3 or $4. They're nothing crazy expensive, and even if they don't work, most of the time you can salvage the rollers to use on other kits because they're almost all either a square peg like this or round on the bottom like this. This is what that set looks like, by the way. I know I talked about these in my favorites video, but that's what it looks like. This is a set by Jill Bear. I've had this since 2008. It still works pretty good. I feel like they get hotter than they used to. I still have these little guys for them. I don't know why. I never use them, but I still have them in case, I guess, someone wants to borrow them. I don't know. So this is 20 pieces. There are large ones here in the middle. There are medium ones and then small ones as you move out. I use this set a lot. These large ones are about a size down from the purple ones from my Conair set, so it's great when you're doing a graduated set where you're going down in size, because you can start with the purple, and then use these, and then use these, and they all just kind of go down in sizes, from really big to small. I do like ones that have the split in the middle, because I can take my corsage pin and go straight through the middle to hold them down, except very rarely when you're doing a hot roller set, and you roll the hair down tight, very rarely do you actually get it standing up. So usually I have to go through the side and like maneuver through the hair to get down. But when and if I can, I love going through the center. I know I got this set at Sally Beauty. I don't know if they still have the Jill Bear set, but there's a Conair set and a Babyless, somebody set that looks identical to this. They also have one that's only the big ones. That's the whole thing. I kind of want to get that one because I think that one's really neat. I kind of want to try it. I don't need it though. I have 8 sets of hot rollers and steamroll. I don't need any more hot rollers. I have so much as it is. Last is another set of thrift store hot rollers that I have. It does have the little door on the top, and so when I put it away, I put the door back on top, and when it's heating up, I put the door on it. But the door is broken, but you can see the price tag on it, so you can tell I'm not exaggerating. Can you see that? There we go. $3. I got these at a thrift shop in Agunquit, Maine when I was at the Agunquit Playhouse, and I used to love them. I think they're starting to die, actually. They don't get quite as hot as they used to. They're by Windmere. Never heard of them in my life. But again, there's like a Babyless and a Conair version of these now that they have that are blue that are pretty much identical to this. This is a 24-piece set. There's large ones here in the middle. There's medium ones here, and then there's small ones all along the back. I really like this set because it has so many small ones. Most of the time when you buy a set, they usually only have like 3 or 4 little guys, and this has more little guys than it does of either other size, which I am a huge fan of with these. Like I said, I think they are starting to conk out on me. They don't get quite as hot as they used to, but I do always steam them, and they always turn out fine. It's just, I don't think that the rollers themselves get as hot. I do really like this set as well because you can put the rollers anywhere. Personally, like to put my hot rollers away in order like this, just so I can look down and know how many rollers I have left. I can just look and be like, oh, I have 4 large ones left. I'll be fine. I don't need to plug in another set. I think these were flocked at one point, but I think these are flocked, but just because I've been using them a lot and they were old when I bought them, they're kind of like hairsprayed down and not very velvety or soft feeling at all, but they still work fine. Next we have what are called hot sticks, which are these little buggers that, woo, yeah. Mother also had when I was a little kid, and so these are probably older than me as well. And they're hot sticks. You can still find hot sticks. It's very rare and hard to find them. And when you do find them, they come in like a set of like 12 or 10 or something ridiculous. So to do a whole head, you need like 10 sets of them because you need a bunch. Basically what a hot stick is this is a rubbery thing that has a hot core in it. These heat up and you set your hair basically like a long curl, and then the end of it goes in like that, and it sits and cools, and you take it down and brrr. The hot sticks were really, really big in the 80s and the early 90s to give you that big, like, permed look. They were perfect for that. I love hot sticks for period pieces, tightly curled and intricate. I don't really use them a lot on wigs, because if I'm going to do something that's hanging, I don't like the roller to be solid. I like to use a mesh roller so that it'll steam evenly. I find sometimes if I use bendy rods, if I use bendy or flexi rods or a hot stick on synthetic hair when I go to steam it, it doesn't steam out evenly because it's a solid piece and the steam can't flow through it. Available in like 10 or 12 at a time when you buy them. My mother says she got this on like QVC or something in the 80s, but I've never seen another one like it. Hairdresser friends that see this are so jealous of me because of how many there are. But these are my hot sticks. I love them. There's like 40 in here, I think, if I counted right. There's also extra ones, which are, again, in this bag. Pink, which is the biggest. Then there are blue ones, which look like this. And then there's a yellow one that's even tinier than the blue ones. I never use the yellow ones. I have like 4 of them. I think they're all just missing. Zotos, Ultra Bond, wave conductors is what they say on the box. There, again, was a lid that went with them and it disappeared. There's a high and a low and a switch right here. I love them. They still work after all these years. As you can see, I haven't used them in a while because there is hairspray dust all over the top of this bugger. Nasty. You can probably find something similar on eBay if you look up hot sticks or wave conductor rods or hot rods or something like that. I think you would find something very similar on eBay. I don't know how much these retail for off the top of my head. I know like the 10 or 12 packs retail for like 20 or 25 bucks. But for a large something, if you can still find one, not really sure. You can see I have a huge bag full of rollers and every size they make. And the sad thing is that this is only about half of the steamrollers that I own because my friend Riona is borrowing a set right now. So hi Riona, I found a ribbon. Basically what a steamroller is a cross between a hot roller and a sponge roller. As you can see, there is the roller here and there's this little sponge thing right here. And then there's also a cap. This is the pot. You basically fill this to the line with water. You fill this to the line with water. You put this on top and you plug it in and turn it on. And steam comes out of this little hole right here. You put the roller on the hole and you let it heat up for like 15 seconds or something. And this will fill with steam. To put this on there as well. So I like to put this on there like this. That's why there's a little ledge. Put the lid on it. Fill the lid up with steam. Roll it down. Put the lid on it. Like I said, I have several sets of these. I have probably, I think, about 4 sets of rollers, and I have 2 of these little tank guys. They're by Caruso. You can get them at Sally Beauty. There's other brands that make them. I easily find Caruso steamroller sets at the vintage store or the thrift store as well. The only thing is that back in the day when they first came out, you had to use salt to make the water steam, and now the new versions you don't have to use salt anymore. I personally love steamrollers for when I have to do real people hair. Like if I have to go and I have to style someone's hair into a vintage style, or if I have several girls that I have to set and style their hair quickly, I like to use the steamrollers. Now, I like to use the steamrollers on real hair for a multitude of reasons. Number one is that you don't have to wait for the whole set to heat up, which can often take up to 15 or 20 minutes for hot rollers to completely heat up to their ideal temperature. It only takes about 60 seconds for steam to start coming out. Number 2, you don't have to heat up the whole set. You heat up roller by roller at a time. Number 3, if I'm doing someone's hair with the set, I like to lay out all the rollers in front of them, and usually I have them put them on the stand for me like this, so I can just grab and set, grab and set. I have to set girls' hair quickly. I like to have 2 pots going at the same time, so I can put one there and take this one off as it's hot and use it, and then I'll take this one and it's hot and I'll use it, and then the girl or whoever's hair I'm setting will put a new one at each one. You can also, you know, put them there yourself, but the girls are usually just sitting there talking to you anyway, so they can kind of do that. And the girls, I find a lot of girls think it's fun because they're like helping, so they're like, oh, let me put one here, do you want a big one, do you want a little one? They got all excited putting rollers on the little pot. I don't know why, but it's cute. The pots do die. I have to go flat out and say that the pots do die. That is why I have 4 sets of rollers and only 2 pots. I originally started with a set in college. I soon after bought another set because I needed more rollers. I then bought extra rollers online, and then I had one of my sets die. I didn't have time to write and buy a new pot. I had to get a new set immediately, so I just went out and bought a new pot and a new set of rollers, and then the same thing happened again later, and I had to buy a whole new set. I have ordered just the pot and the heating element from the company before as a replacement. They came, it was great, it was a replacement, it was awesome. You can do that. You can also buy additional rollers of any of the sizes from the company as well. I do find that if I go anywhere and I try to find the additional rollers, they only usually have the jumbo size. I don't know why that is. It'd be great if you could just buy the pot and the rollers separate, so you don't have to use all the... If you're never going to use the big jumbo rollers, there's no use in owning them. So, you know, whatever. But I wish you could do that in stores. You can do it through their website or sometimes through Amazon and stuff like that. You can find just the pot and just the rollers separate. But for the most part, you have to buy the whole kit. I believe that the kit, there's several different versions of the kit. There's ones that have 15 rollers, I believe. There's ones that have, I think, 30. I think there's 2 different versions. There's also 2 different versions of the pot. There's the round one, which I showed you. There's also one that's more of an oval shape that is ionic, and it has 2 different settings of steam. It has a high-powered steam, which is the ionic steam, and then there's the regular steam, which is the non-ionic steam. I, of course, like to use the ionic steam because it comes out faster, the rollers heat up better. Additionally, I really love to use them for on-location stuff because once you use it, and it's cooled down, you can put it right back on the pot and heat it up again. You don't have to sit and wait for, like hot rollers, to cool down on the person's head and then heat up again. You can just use it immediately right afterwards. So you can boom, 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 boom. You can go down a whole line of girls and hot roller their head and style them in an hour. People are like, oh, well, since you do synthetic wigs, you must love steam rollers on wigs. And I'm like, no, not really, actually, I don't. I've only ever used a steamroller on synthetic wigs once or twice in college, and I don't remember it turning out well, even working at all. I've yet to try them on synthetic hair now. I probably could get them to work now if I tried, but I really don't use the steamrollers for anything besides human hair, because I find that when you set them, when you set them, the sponge part shrinks down, and they all end up kind of being the same size anyway when you're all done. So I don't like to use them for synthetics because of that. As always, I'm going to try to put all the links, if I can find them, to the different products I'm talking about today in the box below, so you guys can easily just click down there and find everything you need to know about what I'm talking about today. So thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate all of your love and your comments and everything. Please be sure to follow me on all social media, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Please hit the subscribe button and you guys can become an official wiglet. That's what I like to call you guys. You know how Gaga has monsters and Kesha has something. And, you know, there's the Swamp family for Bunny, and everyone has, and then Bunny has the Swamp family, and Shonda, Baby Tigga has her gems, Maddox Madison has his M&Ms and all of that stuff. So I think you guys are now my little wiglet family. Sure to check out bobbypins.com, where I'm selling canvas heads, wigs, wefted hair, brushes, combs. I have a brush set, stands, all that fun stuff you guys need to start getting started on your own projects at home. I'm selling at bobbypins.com. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Email me with any questions, comments, concerns, ideas for future videos. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this type of video, and I will see you guys this Friday for another fun Friday video. Thanks.